Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Monday's Market Outlook here at Top Gun Options. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz, and folks, I haven't even had my first cup of coffee, and it seems like it's going to be an incredibly long week. Waking up to a bunch of tweets from the president. Actually, this one was last night to Iran. But going after Amazon again, last week I sat on the pine with Amazon. We did a S&P 500 bear call spread that expired Friday afternoon for a max profit of $1,600. So a nice 4.5-day trade, $1,600. We decided to take a breather on Amazon, and I'm glad I did because the president's drunk texting this morning is slamming the stock. Actually, I guess the guy says he doesn't drink, so he was Trump texting, not drunk texting. Real quick, folks, we had a blowout webinar last Thursday. We had near capacity in the room because I know we have a lot of new folks joining the Top Gun Options family here, our trading squadron. I'm going to do another one, but I'm going to do it Wednesday at 1 o'clock. We're going to do another Q2 earnings because we have tech earnings on deck, because I know a lot of people in our free webinar last week were asking about tech earnings, whether we're going to buy them or sell them and all that type of stuff. I said, you know what? Let's do another one of these next Wednesday. So all you have to do to register for Wednesday's brief at 1 o'clock is head to go.topgunoptions.com/brief. Again, that's go.topgunoptions.com/brief. And we're going to talk about tech earnings and where I see the market heading here. We're doing this golden arches rally, right? Early May, we bounced, had that near-death experience off the 200-day moving average all the way up. Kind of did the McDonald's golden arches twice off the 50-day moving average here, and I think we're going to do the same thing again. I predicted the market was going to roll over right about here, and we're doing exactly as I predicted. I more or less said cut or copy and paste and put this pullback right over here, and that's exactly what we're doing. So what's going on in the markets, folks? The president, in all capital letters here, except the beginning of the tree, right? To Iranian President Rouhani. Boom! All caps, never threaten us again. I'm going to obliterate you and wipe you off the face of the earth. Wow. This guy obviously ain't used to hearing that. He's used to hearing, he can say death to America and threaten us and never get a response like that. And that's what the president said. Hey, man, I ain't like any of these presidents before. I will kill you type of tweet. I got to be honest with you. In the old days, the VIX would be up here at 50 and, you know, we'd be freaking out. Nobody cares. Remember last year, the president sitting up in his golf course in, was it Pinehurst or whatever it's called, New Jersey, saying, I will rain fire and fury down on North Korea and kill all of you. It was incredible. The leader of the free world threatening a sovereign country with nuclear annihilation. The market went down 300-400 points. Look at this. The S&P is essentially flat right now. Dow's down about 16 points. Remember one of the wisdoms that you're going to learn here at Top Gun Options. The market only cares when it cares. That makes sense, though, right? I know it sounds so stupid or silly, but it isn't. For example, the trade war. Last night, China said it has no intentions to devalue the yuan to boost exports. So we're in the middle of a massive trade war, folks. Over the past, I'd say, week and a half, Secretary Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, came out and said, yeah, talks have stalled, trade talks, you know, we're going to be in a trade war here. What's his name? The guy from CNBC, Larry Kudlow, same type of thing. Hey, man, he was brought in as an adult. You know, Trump knows him from his New York days. He's from CNBC. Smart guy. Brought him in to be one of the adults to, you know, he was even out on the White House lawn a couple times during one of these we're all going to die in a trade war freakouts in the market. He came out on the White House lawn like twice in one day and said, everybody relax, the adults are talking. Well, it turns out the adults have broken down. Trump trade advisor Peter Navarro last week said, hey, it's a zero-sum game between China and the rest of the world. And Steve Bannon, one of his former advisor, same thing, said, folks, we've been in a trade war with China for decades. You guys just haven't known it yet. So this is very, very interesting. We put on a bearish spread actually in that Thursday brief, and the FXI popped a little last week towards the end with the whole devaluation of the yuan right here, as I predicted, and then this thing's going to start, it's going to head down again. So if you didn't get in that FXI trade, you missed last week's webinar. I sent it out to you. It's posted on the website, like for free, I'd be looking at a bearish double vertical. After this pop, I'd sell into that little pop last week on FXI and get even more bearish, because this whole trade war thing is not getting fixed anytime soon. It's only going to get worse before it gets better. And the Shanghai, the Shenzhen, all the China markets are either in or very close to bear market territory. So I get ready to pound that thing into the dirt. The president kind of poked the beehive a little bit last week also with saying he's not happy with the Fed and maybe raising interest rates. Hey, man, you know, every party has a pooper. That's why we have the Fed. So the president kind of poo-pooing Jerome Powell last week. Isn't it incredible that, you know, it seems like a year ago, liberals and the left were incensed about illegals in cages. Now, then it was the Supreme Court pick. Now, every week it's something with the president, and it's comical. This guy just keeps everybody on their toes, but the market doesn't care. The S&P's flat right now. So I get it, we're a little wobbly as we're waiting for big earnings. We got a lot of auto, Ford, GM, Fiat, Chrysler. And then, of course, we got some of the FANGs. Amazon is not a FANG, but Alphabet and Facebook, right? I don't know who the hell calls it Alphabet, man. Even in the FANG, it's Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Or I'm sorry, Apple. I just said Amazon isn't a FANG. Just caught myself. We saw the Netflix earnings the other day. They were abysmal. Big miss on subscribers. So I don't know if that portends how these guys are going to do. It's just going to be interesting, especially some of these limousine liberal stocks like Apple and Facebook, because we'll talk about Tesla imploding in a couple weeks. GDP. Big number this week is GDP. We get some PMIs, which are inflation reports, and then the ECB. We'll see if Mario Draghi's going to end that quantitative easing and maybe even start unwinding his balance sheet, or they're going to keep the bar open and the liquidity for the ECB. But the GDP is going to be huge. We actually saw a little bit of maybe a 5. This is incredible, folks. Barack Hussein Obama would have given his kingdom in Kenya for a 3 or a 4 in front of that decimal point. We're talking potential 5% GDP prints down the road, a short time frame down the road here in the United States. This economy is hitting on all cylinders. We saw the JOLTS job opens index. There are more jobs available than there are people available to work, which this is a rhetorical question, of course, and we can talk about this on Wednesday. Why is there one person on welfare in this country? Why is one person? If you're, they may not be able-bodied, then they should be on disability. If you are on unemployment, you need to be off unemployment. I'd give people 30 days, man. There are jobs out there. Go get them. So big week as far as macroeconomic data. Little China news with Apple. China's targeting Apple with push into advanced smartphone screens. Remember, folks, we have been in a trade war with China for decades. They've stolen everything that is not nailed down. And speaking of Apple, they also use child slave labor in China. But of course, limousine liberals like Tim Cook don't want to talk about that. Amazon is getting slammed this morning by the president because of remember this drunk texting or Trump texting? How long ago was that? Where was that? Right in here. Somewhere in here, the president did the same thing. Amazon rides on the back of the U.S. Postal Service. The Washington Post is essentially it should be investigated because it's just so slanted and it's a packet. Since it loses so much money, it's nothing more than an expensive lobbyist for Amazon. Ooh. I predicted this was going to happen again, folks. We had a losing trade during that spat, just one of them, because when I figured out how the stock was going to react, we got back into it, and we've been printing money on Amazon year to date. But we sat on our hands last week with Amazon, and instead of an Amazon spread, I did an SPX trade, as I said, that made a max profit. I said last week, if anything, I'd get bearish on Amazon, and look at what Amazon's doing right now. It ain't going to zero, folks. If anything, I'd let this temper tantrum go, and we might even do a bull put spread today at 1 o'clock on Amazon. Remember, today at 1 o'clock, we have our weekly options live trade brief. So if you don't want to wait until Wednesday to take a 2-week test flight into some of the things we do here at Top Gun Options, just go to our homepage and scroll down. And if you want to attend our weekly options brief today and for the next 2 weeks and a couple of other briefs, just click on the advanced. Advanced doesn't mean oh my God, man, I have to be some Jedi master at options trading. No, advanced just means weekly. One of the test flights you're going to get is into the weekly option service today at 1 o'clock. Okay. Beginners, more retirement options. Intermediate is in between weekly, which are weekly options, and retirement, which are out a couple years. Intermediate's kind of the front months. Okay. So that's how you can view it. It's a $14, $28, and $38 trial. So if you want to join us today at 1 o'clock and get a 2-week test flight, it's $38, and we'll take a look at a bull put spread on Amazon. We've been printing money for the past rolling 6 months. We are at a 92% win rate with our Amazon weekly trades. I think that's or close to a $60,000 gain year to date in our Amazon trade. So we're having an absolute blast here, folks. If you want to wait until Wednesday and literally just come for our free trade brief on Wednesday, head to go.topgunoptions.com/brief. We're going to cover all this stuff in detail. Okay, I got to go. I got to go check my Twitter feed and see what else the president, what other beehive the man is poking. So I'll see many of you today at 1 o'clock for our weekly options live trade brief, where we will talk about Amazon, or on Wednesday where we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Okay, so have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless.